Good morning. It's Wednesday the 28th of August 2024 and this morning I'm in St Arvans. St Arvans Victorian drinking fountain. In the early 1890s, Monmouthshire County Council decided to install drinking fountains throughout the county. Due to the natural beauty of this area, local residents raised £30 to purchase a special fountain. This was manufactured by the Sun Foundry in Glasgow. It was assembled at the Iron Stores in Chepstow and opened in 1893. Originally, drinking water was obtained by pressing taps at the base of the cherubs, which delivered water through the urns held by the cherubs. Villagers supported by grants renovated the fountain as a celebration of the new millennium. It is now a true working example of a Victorian fountain. This plaque is a memorial to Marsden Lloyd, 1927 to 2002, who was a member of the team that enabled the restoration. From the fountain, I walked up Divorden Road for a short way, then turned left along Church Lane. The village church is dedicated to St Arvan, a 9th century hermit who supported himself by fishing for salmon in the River Wye and drowned when his small boat capsized. So will I or won't I get inside St Arvan's church? No. Oh. Blast. Oh well, I can't get inside and nothing I can do about it. Beyond the meeting rooms, I took a footpath on a sharp corner off Grange Road. Okay, the walk then. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Well, of course it will be. I'm in the Wye Valley, for goodness sake. Okay, well, there is just something a bit more serious I want to get out of the way first, and then we can move on to pleasanter things as the day goes on. When I was in Chepstow yesterday filming my walk then, I had a bit of an unpleasant experience. Just at one point, but unfortunately because of that one experience it slightly spoilt my day. What it was, obviously I had my camera and I was taking pictures around the town, and there was one point where I was taking a picture of the town arch, and I was stood sort of here, camera pointing towards the town arch, and there was a woman that was stood sort of like a little way to my right. And when I finished what I was doing, she said, excuse me, what are you doing?" And because of the way she asked me that, it immediately got my back up, and I said, "Well, I'm taking pictures of the arch," or whatever it was I said. And then I said, "Well, who are you?" I said. She said, "Well, I'm just some person standing here who wants to know who you are filming people," she said, or something like that. And I said, "I'm not filming people. I said, I am filming at the town arch." And then I sort of like went to get a business card out of my wallet, because I made myself some business cards, which I'll talk about later. So I thought, well, if I give her one of my business cards, it'll actually tell her who I am, and then if she wants to check up on me, she can do. But she was going, "Oh, okay," she was going, but she wouldn't take the business card when I was offering it to her. And I thought, well, you know, you've asked me in your rude manner what I'm doing, and I was offering to give you my card, then you could check up on me. But, you know, and then after that, a bloke who presumably was with her, her husband I expect, sort of like walked in front of me and he said, "Well, there was nothing perplexing about that question," he said. I thought, oh, for goodness sake, you know. They both spoke to me, particularly the woman, like I was something stuck to their shoe. I have no problem with people asking me what I'm doing. You know, that's absolutely fine. You know, if people want to ask me what I'm doing, go ahead, but do it politely. It doesn't cost anything to be polite. But unfortunately, because of this woman's manner, it immediately got my back up. And as I say, I found it quite unpleasant, and it tainted the rest of my day, unfortunately. I know people will say, oh, don't worry about people like that, it's not worth it. And it isn't. But unfortunately, things like that do stay with me. So all I'm saying is, you know, if you see me or anybody else with a camera that's filming something which clearly isn't affecting you, because this wasn't with this woman, you know, the camera was facing away from her, and quite frankly I just thought, because of the way she spoke to me, what the hell has it got to do with you, you know, which is why I asked her who she was. So if you do see people and you're wondering what they're doing with the camera, just ask them politely. Just say, excuse me, can I just ask what you're doing? It makes all the difference. It doesn't hurt to be polite. And I've always been polite to people myself, so I treat people as I would hope others would treat me. So, you know, just be polite. It is very easy. Anyway, rant over. Let's enjoy the rest of my day. Right, so this is Rogerstone Grange. So, okay, private road up there. That's fine because I don't need to go that way anyway. I go up this way, which is also a private road, but there is a public right-of-way marked on the map, so I shall follow that. My path from Rogerstone Grange took me in a westerly direction, across several fields, between Pilmore Wood to the south and Chepstow Park Woods to the north and west. After just a little more than a mile, I climbed a stile beside a gate to reach the end of a lane, which led me to the B4293 in the village of Itton. So I'm now in Itton, or Itton Common. When you come through, the sign says Itton, but on the map it's marked as Itton Common, so anyway, I've always known this as Itton. This was another place that my granddad used to drive through when I was a kid, and I used to sit in his car and be his passenger. It was great. But more importantly, from my point of view, I came to Itton, which I used as a location as in my very second sort of Tarambler film 30 years ago, The Lost Villages, and I came here and used this telephone box. The box is still there, I see, but it's not a phone now, it's a defibrillator. But yeah, 30 years ago, a shot of me was filmed going inside this phone box, making a telephone call to my friend Michael. What a memory. There we go, Itton Common. The adjoining village green is all that remains of the common, once 35 acres, being the land to the west and along the ridge to the south, which was the common land, or waste, within this manor. The greatest wealth is contentment with a little. Millennium Garden Spring 2000. Yeah, just read that. Fascinating. I was talking earlier about the business cards I've made. Well, it's not really a business card, it's a business type card, because obviously my filmmaking isn't a business, it's a hobby. But I produced them some months ago because, particularly when you think of instances that I had yesterday in Chepstow, if people wonder what I'm doing and are curious or suspicious, I made these cards so I can give them one of these cards, and then if they want to check up on me, they can do. So it tells them who I am, and it gives links to my website, or what to look for on Google. Just search for the Solitary Rambler, and then you'll find me. And then obviously anybody that's concerned about what I'm doing, they can look at this, and I'll give them one of these, and then they can look me up basically. But, I just think it's a bit sad, really. I mean, especially bearing in mind what happened yesterday in Chepstow. I just think it's sad that we're in a world today that's so suspicious. You can't go anywhere now without just sort of taking a camera and just sort of filming shots around a town or a village or out in the countryside without people giving you funny looks like, what on earth are you doing? Most of the people that ask me, they're pretty polite, but it's just sad that people are more suspicious nowadays, because I mean, if I wanted to do something that was suspicious, I wouldn't be sort of like out filming in the middle of in a public place, where people could see me. I'd do it a bit more discreetly. But anyway, that's the way the world is, unfortunately. So these business cards have been a blessing to me, so if people want to check up on me, they can do. From Itton Common, I walked along the lane signposted to Shire Newton. Then after a third of a mile, I went left at a footpath sign, going through a farm gate to cross a field. Right, so here, according to the map, the right-of-way splits two ways. So one goes across that direction, and the one that I'm taking more or less goes straight ahead of me, across this slightly dry field. Yeah, well, there's no clearly defined route, so I'm just going to have to walk across that. I don't think it'll be too difficult, he says, hopefully. Just aim for those trees over there, so I shall see how it goes. Yeah, I have to admit I didn't really enjoy that last section. It was hard going. There's no clear path across that field, but when you look at the map, it takes you sort of straight across it where all that dried up vegetation is, and you've got to sort of like clamber through that, and it's hard going. So probably the best thing to do is to go where the other route went and just sort of like go around the edge of the field on this side of the hedge. Maybe there might be a way through the hedge there. And there was a gap in the hedge over there, but it was very overgrown, but I got through. But yeah, it's not clear at all, so maybe I should report this to Monmouthshire County Council. This is better. A nice clear path through the woods. Much more enjoyable. Exiting the wood, I climbed up across another field, aiming for the church ahead of me. Oh, flipping heck. Oh well, not my day for churches today, is it really? Just up there is Itton Court, private, so I won't be going that way then. No, I'm going to be following this lane for a while. A little bit of road bashing until I reach the main road again. half a mile, the lane reached the B4293 again, over which I crossed to follow a track between houses. As I continued along more paths across fields, I soon reached another problem. Ah, no, not again. Look at this! The footpath, or the right of way, is that way. Well, I ain't going to flip and get through that, am I? Oh, God. I'm going to have to try and go up there. I'm just going to have to try and go around the edge of the field if I can. There seems to be a little bit of a gap. But, oh, what a flipping nightmare. Not the best walk today. Pretty, don't get me wrong, pretty walk, lovely scenery, but the route itself is flipping hard because of things like this. Oh. Oh, you have to laugh, don't you, really? You have to laugh. That was not pleasant. Didn't enjoy that either. Oh well, I'm on the last stretch now, so hopefully this bit will be a lot easier. A track, so hopefully that won't be blocked up anywhere. We'll see how it goes. I'm towards the last bit of the walk now, so. Farm just there. I guess that's why we got all these private no access signs everywhere, so that's all probably part of this estate, I would imagine. Yeah, very pleasant around here, I must say. I'm sure I probably walked around here as a kid when I lived in Chepstow. I've not done this walk before, but I reckon I may have walked around here from St Arvans before now when I lived in Chepstow. Well, that's the end of my walk, as I've reached the A466 and I'm back in St Arvans. Good stuff. And over there, can't see it very well, but that's Chepstow Racecourse. Okay, let's head back into St Arvans now, and I'll show you where I've been staying. This is Parkfield. This is Parkfield in St Arvans, and I'm spending 2 nights here, last night and tonight. So this is my room, right here. Let's go inside and have a look. Okay. Oh. Here we go then. So, a double bed and a single bed. Yeah. And usual TV and tea and coffee making facilities. A sofa even, don't get sofas much in rooms I've stayed in. And then here is the wardrobe here. And then you've got the ensuite bathroom, so yeah, sink, bath, and shower. There we go. So yeah, I actually hadn't planned to stay here when I was planning this year's filming. Most of the other places where I've stayed this year and where I'm about to stay, I planned, to be honest with you, I planned them last December and booked them all up. So this one was actually more of a last minute booking. What it was I'm off for 2 weeks now. I'm off for this week and next week, first week in September. I'd already booked somewhere in the Wye Valley next week. That was booked months ago. However, I looked at my budget and I thought I can probably afford a couple of nights somewhere else as well. So I actually, at the last minute, booked up Parkfield just for the 2 nights, and I can do the walks I've done already and another one tomorrow. And then when I've done my walk tomorrow, I'll go over the Severn Bridge, go down to North Somerset, see Mum again for a few days, and then come back to the Wye Valley next week, which is what I plan to do anyway. So I think it's been really good. So yeah, it's worked out really nice. And Elizabeth that runs this place is lovely. She's really nice. She's from Northern Ireland originally, but she hasn't lost her Northern Ireland accent, so she's lovely. Very helpful, can't do enough for you. And the breakfast, fantastic. Probably one of the best breakfasts I've had. This morning I was greeted with some melon and a few strawberries and grapes. That was lovely. And I could have had cereal as well, but I said, well, I won't have cereal as well as the melon. And then the fried breakfast, so absolutely fantastic. So I'd come here just for the breakfast again. Anyway, that's it. That's today's walk over and done with. And as I say, I've got one more night here and then do a walk tomorrow before I go and see Mum.